she stopped taking drugs. She went on to Subutex, which is a substitute for heroin, and then she weaned herself off Subutex. It was almost unheard of. She stopped taking Subutex about 18 months ago, and she was completely clean.
So she had extraordinary self-discipline if she wanted to.
Incredible self-discipline. Incredible self-discipline.
Was the Achilles heel alcohol in the end?
Well, it clearly was. It clearly was.
And how bad an addiction was that for her after the drugs?
Well, alcohol is far more dangerous than drugs are anyway.
I love you, Amy.
You probably know it's far worse for you, if that's the right expression. And the withdrawals are very difficult, far more painful, and far more debilitating. The withdrawals themselves are debilitating. She would drink for 2 or 3 weeks, and then she would detox for 2 or 3 weeks. And that's the worst thing that anybody could do, because she would detox not under medical supervision. And her doctor very specifically told her about 6 months ago, and he wrote to her, and she wrote a copy to me as well, the doctor, and she said that if this behaviour continued, the binge drinking and then the detoxing, that could lead to seizures, which ultimately could lead to death. Which was what the doctor said. And I guess she was like any other 27-year-old who thinks that smoking's not going to kill you, they're going to live forever. And she chose to ignore the advice because she had just come off of the back of a 2-week, very successful detox period. And
had she been drinking the night that she died?
She had started drinking again, yeah.
Do you know how much she'd had that night?
I had no idea.
Because
I wasn't there, I was here.
The results that came back, she was certainly clean of any drugs.
That's right.
But it would appear that she had been drinking alcohol. Is that
there was alcohol in her system, yes.
And do you know what actually killed her?
We know it's not drugs, but we don't know the official coroner's verdict.
Do you have any instinct as to
well, my instinct is that it's pretty much what the doctor warned us about, the chemical imbalances in the body that are created by binging and then substance. It creates incredible chemical imbalances in your body.
She was tiny. I mean, this is what
she wasn't that tiny.
Here's the extraordinary thing, Mitch, because if you remember the sequence of events, I'm sure you remember it all very clearly, but she did a gig in London at the 100 Club. I think you went to this.
Wonderful.
It was a fantastically successul gig, and on the back of it, you and the management all got together and said, great, she's up to this tour. She had a European tour. She looks like she's on top form again. That was what the media reported. The buzz around Amy was great. You tweeted at the time, don't worry about Amy, she's fine. The tour starts in Belgrade, and I will declare an interest here because my brother-in-law, my wife's brother, was Amy's sax player in the band, had been for years.
Wow!
And I've seen the video footage of that night, and it was a catastrophe. I mean, just a shambles. It must have been doubly so, because you'd seen her performing brilliantly 2 weeks before. What happened in Belgrade, you think?
When the tour was booked, it was booked, I mean, obviously these things are booked 9 months previously, and Amy and I sat with Ray, her manager, and we said, do you want to do this, Amy? She said, I am desperate to go back to work, Dad. I'm desperate to go back to work. Please, let me go back to work. And Ray and I looked at each other and said, she wants to go back to work. What can we do? Let her go back to work. But I think it was the pressure of having all those days in front of her, which she wanted to do. Nobody, I can assure you, I didn't force her to do them. Ray, her manager, never forced, and the record company never forced her to do anything. If anybody had forced her to do anything, she'd just laugh at us all and she would just, run away from it. She wasn't the sort to be forced into anything. She wanted to do it.
Let's take another break. I want to come back and talk to you about the Amy Foundation that you've set up, what it's all about, who it's designed to help, and how our viewers can help you.
Blowing rain. We only say goodbye with words. I love you, Amy.